This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
Hey, welcome to the Crush This Monster Podcast. This is Dan Chichagash, finally back after a... Can people hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
Just kidding, just mic checking. But back after 2 weeks from Colorado and Oklahoma City. Got Brad Shaw here with us. Well, he's been holding down the fort the last 2 weeks. What's up, Mike? What's up, Mark? What's going on, guys? How you folks doing today? We had Mike on 2 weeks ago. But I guess we could do this is once again, thanks to our main sponsor, J Concepts. If people not know that after next year, High Octanes, they had new ownership and we're just separating. But it's been a good ride. They've been there from the start, Joe Sylvester, but he sold the company to another group of people. And they're looking at a different direction. So that's all right. That's fine. But J Concept's been there also from the start, and they've been going on. But starting next week, we may have some trucks. I have a few J Concept products that we'll have behind me for the help for visual and stuff. I got my shirt, and go to our jconcepts.net for 15% off all items using the tag Crush This at checkout, from monster truck bodies, tires, even 8-scale buggies. I'm gonna rip this cord off of this mic before you know it, and I won't have a mic.
Dude, so you gotta get one of these microphones, man. These things are badass.
I need to get the thing for it and the box. I'm working on that right now, but I just want to let everyone else know while you're getting your products there too. Why October 26th, the 4th annual Hall Brothers Classic, but this time will be on Eli Field in Monticello, Illinois. It's the home track for the Horizon Fest that you'd see in June, but this time be two. And normally I was planning on doing 3 rounds of racing, but 2 rounds, the SoCal style racing, and also figure 8 racing with some freestyle. So come on along. First truck, I believe, is $10 for entry, and then $5 after that. I have a way for me to get there, Levi. I will try to get there. I know a lot of people are trying to come over. I know Mike Letcher and Jessica wanted to come to my event, but they're maybe next year, but that's cool. So hopefully we could test the waters here on a little bit of a further date. I thought it would be a lot easier to do. Unfortunately, we're losing some people because another group up in North Cal didn't calculate, hey, there's another RC event October 26th, and he's booked it, not caring. So it is what it is. Losing some my guys over there for them, but it is what it is. We'll just keep on testing the waters for that and see. Hopefully everything turns out good, because the weather in Illinois in November is just another form of winter. So I try to move the dates, especially if we're having outside. A lot of people are asking about indoor. We're going to try to get that going on. But right now, indoor is up in the air. We're trying to talk to them about some indoor places. So we'll go from there. But hopefully, the way it looks like right now, the weather is cooperating. So on October 26th, and then we'll go there. We have hotel recommendations, stuff like that too. So it'll be exciting. But go to jconcepts.net to try to get some parts for your RC truck too. that's some cool stuff. But go to our spread shop also, and we'll see got my hat. Go there, get some of this. I Crush This, a Monster Truck Podcast of a spread shop. Also contact me or Brad for hoodies and crew shirts. We still have them also. Gears for Life, Bryce Kenny's book, some cool stuff there. There it is. Computer's running a little behind, but it's okay. Go take a look at that. It's on Amazon.com. Cool. Me and Brad both read it. We got it digitally. So go there. Monster Truck Attitude on Facebook and YouTube. It is the home for Thursday Night Thunder, but he's on a little bit of a hiatus on that. Steve Jones and his group. I just won the last pay-per-view event.
We need to have our rematch, dude.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll let you have the win. I win events, so it's all right. I'll let you have. Yeah, we do, but we got also remember our lives on that league is based off the spinning wheel of doom.
Yep.
So we have to make the event first before we even face us. And if it does, then that'd be awesome, and we can do that. And Jessica's letting me know that I need a place to order for her cookie company. So I will try to get that going. And
see, I was gonna mention for the Monster Attitude, maybe I need to send Steve this, even though this is like one of my prized possessions.
I'll use the body for that.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many people have one of these, but I got two. One's in the package still, and one's out for a display like this.
Is that the one that you made?
Yeah, it's the one that I made.
Well, I guess he doesn't mind it. I will get the cookie ordered, like I said, Jessica. I'll try to get that going and go from there. And try to do all that jazz. But go, by the way, with her dial-up cookies, she made some for the team during World Finals, and they're mint. They're good. Go to her Facebook page, Instagram page, order yourself some cookies. She does an awesome job, designs and everything like that. Give her a little bit of some love and plug. And while you're at it, go to limslikeme.org. Cole Vinard's group helps out with all the situations with your, missing arms, having a heart trouble. He's would be the next step after medically to help you pursue to become using a lot better equipment. He helps out. Donate if you want, or more information at lminfo@limslikeme.org and help that process also. Yeah, we tried something different this time around. It's just a hangout with me and Brad. Next week, though, I do have a guest, Brad, so be happy because I could do it. It's going to be Steve Thompson Jr., the new owner of Hurricane Force, which is the last truck that CJ and them had after the passing of their dad, Tim. So we'll talk to Steve about new ownership. What was the deal like between him and the Mente family to get the truck? It's kind of like a lineage type deal. Still running strong, still doing his thing. And a lot of interesting questions for Steve, and being the owner of a monster truck, the difference between driving for someone than owning everything yourself and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. So next week is Steve Thompson Jr., the owner of Hurricane Force. So Brad, you've been on a whirlwind. Thank you for holding down the fort while I'm on MIA.
No problem, buddy.
We'll talk a little bit about Oklahoma and stuff like that. But it was cool popping in for a little bit on the RC talk, and then a little bit more on with Don Frankish. It was cool. I was listening and whatnot on the Don Frankish one while I was nut and bolting ammunition and all that jazz. But yeah, I mean, that gotta be pretty cool talking to Don, huh?
Oh, it definitely is, and I mentioned it on last week's episode. He was driving at the very first show I went to here in Grand Prairie, Alberta. And it's it's crazy to think like we've been doing this for almost 10 years. Next year, guys, is the 10th anniversary of Crush This. So expect some really cool stuff next year, by the way. We're new logo. I'm trying to figure out a design for that. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, with Don, growing up watching him at the local show and him on TV, it kind of like, even just with this podcast, it's so surreal that, you and me get to talk to people that we watched growing up and idolizing and wanting to be like, and we get to talk to them on here, get to know about them. With Don Frankish, I consider Don a friend,
Speaking about Don, I gotta pay him to be your friend. I'll send him his money and stuff like that. But when you were talking about that, though, but think about it. Back in 2014, when you asked me this, we were just super fans. We were just fans. We were online monster truck racing, BSing with other people. Fast forward, is it 10 years? 10 years.
Well, technically, so I messaged you with the idea. It was 2013.
We really didn't get the ball rolling until like 2017, though, because remember when you told me that I did one complete episode, then I had to move to Florida to start working for Feld, and Feld was kind of iffy on me doing a podcast and everything like that because of my being a fan and stuff like that they thought I would be leaking information. Which I had no intentions of in the first place, but I respect all of them. So the whole time during Feld, I was kind of like, back. Because remember, you had Daniel Donnelly, and
we did some episodes with you during that time period. We had some other people kind of guest host, but I remember like I'll tell kind of the story, how I thought about doing all this. I was working at Party City for Halloween and working the wall where all the costumes were, and I would listen to podcasts on my break, or even when I had other jobs I've had up until that point. And you probably remember Cheech, but I don't know if a lot of people remember Monster Truck Radio with Jeff Richards. And that was kind of the first podcast for monster trucks, in my opinion. He really set the bar for guys like us, Monster Cast, Throttle Out, all these shows that have come after that. And I was also listening to like the Steve Austin show, Chris Jericho's podcast, all that. And I had a thought. I'm like, this is like, October 2013. I'm like, dude, I got to do something because there's a market for it. And the first person I thought it was you.
Well, it was me. That's a good.
Because you're very knowledgeable. You're a lot of, at that point, you knew more of the history of the sport than I did. Like at that point, I'd only been serious into monster trucks for a good couple years at that point, but not like insane.
Yeah. And
you had a different aspect of the sport being from the States, and we got along through TeamSpeak and MTM2, and like over the years, you and me have butted heads and all that, but I wouldn't have wanted anybody else to host this with because it's about the passion. And that's another thing that I wanted somebody that was passionate about the sport to be on this journey, and I consider it 10 years, we had a few years there where when you were with Feld and things were kind of, not as, not doing it like how we've done it the last 5 or so, but still to be doing this 10 years, like not a lot of people can say that they've been doing something semi-consistently for 10 years. And that's something we've been able to do.
And really strong consistently for 7.
Yeah.
It started from 2017 to now. When I joined Dirt Crew and Quad Chaos and them, that's when the ball started rolling. When COVID happened, that was a boom for us because we were introduced to the StreamYard and stuff like that. Before it was just, using Skype, and then we would use a recording tool to let's go. Yeah,
I remember the bullshit that we had to deal with because like I was the one recording it on my end and like dealing with these third party Skype in like recorders and all the
Mhm.
crap that we had to go through. But like it's cool that you mentioned Joey Sylvester beginning. He was our first guest, and he's been on ever since then. And hopefully with his new adventure going off-road racing again, we'll have him back on and talk about all
Starting to
that.
form as a recycle sign, because I was talking about, okay, he's doing off-road again. What's next? Sprint cars and late models, and then it comes back around the monster trucks, and then it's just going to be whole rotation. I don't know. Hopefully they prove me wrong and he'll stay with it.
But I think the most important part that's made us do this for so long is the fact that we're fans first and foremost. I've had a career doing the design stuff. You've had a career crewing for many years and now driving. But I think deep down inside, it's because we're fans first and foremost. I think that's why. This is something that I never thought would last, but here we are almost 10 years later, and we're still doing it. And
we also have to thank like the Derek Hansons, the Brandon DeRoe,
yes,
the up and coming, now Preston Perez, people like that was willing to take their time for us to do interviews.
Yes.
To a point where now we have a bunch of people watching. I think we have a crap load of people that listen to it, that use it for road trips. I never thought we would, Colby would be watching most of the time as one of our guests, and then even one of our sponsors for this event that does this awesome intro video, which, does that stuff. And then like Nick Davis is another one. His back channel production program now is like ESPN, stuff like that. I have it on my reminder set. I have the Monster blog as a reminder set too, Colby, but I haven't seen anything lately since Back to School Bash. Kind of a big gap, between Back to School Bash and Back to School Bash on 2023. There's a giant gap. Normally there will be shows between them, and there's a big gap. But I know you guys are busy. I'm just busting your guys. I know you've been busting your butt, and you're gonna have another. I think you guys are gonna celebrate 20 years, from 2005 to 25. I think, Colby, you guys are gonna be celebrating 25 years of the Monster blog.
Colby, what is the Monster blog? But I wanted to quickly
that reminds me of Anchorman.
What is the Monster blog?
Good night, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
So I just had a thought there when you were talking about the Monster blog and Colby.
We should create the Monster blog. We should do video work and ask a bunch of people so we could film it. That sounds like our original game plan, and then I could soon to be a host and then do monster truck shows while you could be running the behind the scenes for the Toughest Monster Truck Tour. We could do that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can do that.
Someone else is doing that. Take your job, Colby.
but when you were talking about Colby before, something kind of hit me. Like, the moment that I knew that we made it as podcasters is when we had David freaking Lee do our intro.
Oh yeah,
I still remember getting that from you and hearing it. I'm like, oh my god, David Lee just said my freaking name.
Yeah, we had to do it big. I mean, he is the monster truck voice. The internet. What is that still a thing around? It's like
insert dial-up sound now.
Dial-up. What was it? Real media file? I don't know. Remember, like, I know it was like Midwest monster trucks, and they had footage of like Awesome Kong against Carolina Crusher in 1990 Roanoke, but the film was only like 2 minutes long, and it was like real time or something like that. It was like quick time type deal.
Yeah, quick time. Yeah,
I remember seeing that stuff, and that kind of grew and grew and grew, and then the blog came over and did shows and stuff like that. But 10 years is a huge. No, 20 years has been a big gap from now. They're obviously the live program, but with what the blog, joking aside, what the blog has done, including that and All Monster, now have with the growth of Nick Davis and Back Channel, but you have other, I guess, what would you say, vigilante?
Yeah, like they'll
Nate
do it from like,
and his group,
yeah,
or Monsters Monthly, or Samson Monster Truck, or Monster Nader. Those guys are now doing their own programs and stuff like that. That, well, you need a GoPro, a little camera, or now a cell phone. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Colby and them, they have some good tech cameras, but I mean, I'm just talking about, they kind of seeded now with YouTube and social media and reels and stuff like that, that the actions of monster truck coverages is all around. There is going to be someone around the whole country that's going to give you footage on monster trucks, which the blog all started, and All Monster. And now leading up to all the different areas, but still, I mean, I prefer, like, if I want to go back nostalgia and watch TNN or ESPN, Nick Davis and his group and the blog makes me feel that way of, okay, I'm back to being 5 years old in my parents' living room at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon after school. And I know there's going to be a rerun of, a monster truck show at, Philadelphia, or like, Albany, New York, Monster Truck Challenge, stuff like that. And hearing Brett Kepner or and those people. But off to the tangent, once again, they're celebrating 20 years and stuff like that, Brad. And the way everything's happening is just, it's cool.
Oh yeah, it is. And like, if it wasn't for the Monster blog, I wouldn't have known that there was a world outside of like Monster Jam. You know what I mean? Because growing up in Canada, in the 90s, I had TNN, then Speed Vision, Speed Channel. And I didn't know, like, I'd see Lucas Oil on the Edge and see, the Jamborees. And I knew of the Jamborees because of the Penda series. But when the era of the internet came about and Monster blog, that's what really opened up my eyes to, like, Miami, Oklahoma, or, Ed Beckley stuff, or other promoters that I'd never even heard of. And so, like, the Monster blog, I feel like, and along with Monster Mayhem too, we can't forget about Monster Mayhem, the old message board. That place, dude, was the Wild West at one point. Like, those...
if you didn't want your feelings hurt, don't go to the Monster Mayhem.
No, I remember
we got hurt.
so Cheech will know who I'm talking about. Me and Chicken got into a little argument on there after the whole Travis Pastrana backflip deal, and then the movie with the monster trucks jumping over the dirt bikes and all that. Me and Chicken got into a big old tiff on there. But that's where I met so many other people that now that I've met in person, like, even just doing this, like going to World Finals and wearing my crew shirt, people are like, hey, look, it's Brad. Or, people like will know me just from the podcast, and it's really cool. Like, it's provided me with so many more friends and people, and it's just crazy to think the career that we've been able to have, just shooting the shit with people and blabbing our mouths.
Yeah, there we go. A lot of people talk about the blog and everything like that on our chat. Brad Colby said that was the point, Brad. That is ultimate compliment for us and what we wanted to do. And I do apologize. Nick corrected me about, I guess, Monster Monthly's been doing it for a while. It's just I got introduced because of your program, Nick. I didn't know anything about Monster Monthly until your commercials and stuff like that for your show. So I do apologize. Don't want to insult, that group. But for me, getting introduced to Monsters Monthly was through you, Nick. So I do thank you for that. But
Colby, if you're watching, can I have one request, please? Eventually, re-upload the MLMT stuff. Play. Okay, Cheech.
Gotcha, Trebek.
Okay, Colby, please upload the MLMT stuff full length eventually, because I loved those events.
It's on the blog. You just got to go to oldest events.
But it's all cut up, into individual videos. I'm talking about like making like a full, like no cuts kind of video.
Oh,
but
I don't know if he has time to do that.
Oh, Oscar Ross, he wasn't there for that stuff. That MLMT stuff, dude. Like MLMT, I wish would have stuck around a lot longer than it did.
Someone did a video about that though because of financial problems.
Yeah, they could have like been a massive competitor, like especially what they were doing with the tracks. But like, wasn't Rich Schaefer a part of that?
Yeah, and then Rich split with another group, which I think, to be honest with you, I think LMNT was going to have problems after COVID.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'll be right back. I gotta get my food. I ordered food, so I'll be right back.
What you got? Anyway.
I got a Canadian dish called the donair. It's kind of like a doner kebab, like shawarma thing. So
sounds foreign.
It sounds good, is what it is.
Oh, well, he's gonna stuff his face. Yeah, I want to thank. We were still thanking people before we even do our kind of program. We're thinking back about the 10 years. 10 years is coming back. 20 years for the blog, and also want to thank, like I said, all the people, and also, trusting us on this. Asking all the people, including Last Second. We try our best. My schedule's a little bit hectic, but it's okay. I make time for this, and if I can't, Brad steps in, and we try to work with each other and stuff like that. But once again, thank you to the people, all the guests. We try to expand all around the monster truck world. Doesn't matter if it's full size, 10 scale. All right, Colby, catch you later, bud. Have fun. Tech officials, track crew, past, present of the monster truck industry. I feel like with the RC stuff that it's growing big time, and I see a lot of the RC people are watching this program, which really thank you for the love. That's with Jessica's comment. I'm trying to work a deal with having her cookie company and stuff like that with the podcast, so we could branch her company out, but I don't know if she even needs our help. She I guess she's in the next few months is gonna be booked, and she'll be really booked during Christmas and stuff like that. But we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I placed my order for us for the podcast to help the product out. What's up, Dad? And go from there. Nick Davis is gonna come out with a new commercial for his product here because his company, Back Channel Productions, is celebrating 10 years also. So that's exciting. A lot of 10-year gaps and stuff like that too. We are going to do, like I said, we're going to do a new intro. Even though this is technically our new background here. Brad's going to eliminate that company right there. It's going to be J Concepts only. J Concepts, like I said, has been really helping us out big time with sponsorship, with that too, giveaways. For you fans, we did that from the start, and I think we're going to do another giveaway after. So in November, I'm going to bring it up. November, where I think we're going to do an RC giveaway, and we're going to go from there. But I believe what we're going to do is like, share, and subscribe this product and tag 3 people in our Instagram. It's gonna be an Instagram contest only, so we'll go for that. People ask about the podcast at the Hall of Fame. I did that 2 years ago. It was fun, but it took away from me mingling with everyone, and last year I did that. So I'm probably not gonna do that. I may find people and actually start doing kind of like what CVV did and do recordings, not with a laptop, with a nice camera. And I remember when I stole your interview. Yeah. Nah, you were borrowing it. You just haven't gave it back yet. But try to do like that with 2 mic sets. I'll look into the mics things that Brad has and maybe borrow that and have people do some episodes and stuff like that. I want to try to get there a little bit earlier. maybe see if I can get that Friday off and set up, different interviews and stuff like that, and just recording for different episodes and stuff like that for it. Go from there for upcoming. We also have this for the giveaway, folks. If you want to do that, Steve Thompson has some fiberglass you can donate for the giveaway. We did that for, we did a giveaway maybe, I think it was for, man, I'm brain farting because I gave away a Dirt Crew door and kind of the last kind of deal that Tom Herzog from the Midnight Rider monster truck gave away. I think it was, I don't know. We did a pretty decent giveaway, and that was helpful. So I guess we could do that with Steve and go from there. I guess send pictures, Steve, of what you'd be giving fiberglass wise, and we can go from there. I'll look for kind of a RC truck. JB Scale Graphics stepped down their products for the RC division. Still doing full size vehicles and whatnot, but once again, much love to John and them, and hopefully their product will keep on going and stuff like that. Brad's, are you done with your food?
No, I'll eat it in a little bit. I just went to go down and pick it up.
Gotcha. But want to let people know about Oklahoma State Fair. Was a little bit different than the Colorado State Fair. This time we had two of our vehicles. I had my the race ammunition truck, and the ride truck was there. Nathan Smith was driving that. It was a good crowd. They had a one giant center roller ramp, about 10 feet high. And then I had to create three small ramps, 2 rollers and a ramp for myself. The rollers were for that ride truck, but we did that for 10 days, September 12th, and it ended on the 22nd. And so that was a good time. And got some experience behind the wheel. So basically drove kind of for 10 days, except for the last day. The last day rained. And hung out with a lot of people there. This weekend, I will be at Salina, Kansas, at Marshall Motors for there's going to be two car crashes at the same time with Raminator and Ramunition with Kurt driving. And then the ride truck also. I'll be helping out in the staff, occasionally maybe driving the ride truck to help Nathan out. But that's pretty much it. And then go from there. But pretty much that was it for the Oklahoma State Fair. Went to the legendary arena where Bad Medicine had its wreck. Bad news for you fans. I got some bad news.
No, hold up. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you.
The arena's going to get torn down. That's what the people said, that they just built a new one right next door to it, and the old one's getting teared down right now. Sorry. Hey, I'm going to bed. Good night.
That's it, folks. See you later.
I think this episode should be a drinking game for how many ums and bahs I did. Yeah. But outside of that, Oklahoma was pretty good learning experience. Like I said, we did a couple of mimic race passes, so it got me kind of into the small area. Then a little bit of a freestyle in some shows, and line up the Razoo, and it was I liked it, but it was hot for 9 days until the 10th day, and it was raining. But Yeah.
Us big dudes don't like the weather.
No, but take it as it is before it goes bye-bye.
Oh
You know,
God, don't remind me. That's impending soon here for the old Canuckistan.
you don't even have a spring and fall. It's winter and then summer.
Well, that's how it's been the last couple years. Actually, fall right now is very nice. Little bit of rain, but temperatures outside are actually fairly decent for once.
Mm,
I'm not outside and immediately sweat, so I'm happy about that one.
I bet. And then same here. Just getting ready for the RC event that's gonna be in October 26th. When we get there going and stuff like that. But
But
I really don't have anything to talk about.
Well,
I'm done.
I was gonna mention you were talking about fall. Guess what's already starting in fall? It is preseason hockey, boys.
Oh yeah, that is true. Speaking of which, did you hear about this? I think it's between the St. Louis Blues and the Utah hockey team. St. Louis scored the first goal for the Utah franchise.
I'm not happy with St. Louis because they took 2 of our players.
Yeah, but that's Edmonton's fault.
Yeah, true. But Utah is going to be an interesting, because that's the former Arizona Coyotes and, new arena, new ice. People probably know that every ice in the arena is different. You're not going to be on, the same playing field every single game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. You look at Vegas in their first season and how well they did, and that kind of set the bar.
But the difference is Vegas was an expansion draft. This is from one team moving, so it's kind of like Atlanta Thrashers going to Winnipeg type deal.
Yeah, or the Atlanta Flames going up to Calgary, like it was like when that team started. By the way, screw Calgary.
Right, but with Las Vegas though, they took players from other teams to create this one. Which didn't the Kraken do the same thing?
Yeah, the Kraken did the same thing, and we lost a couple of good Oilers, even in trades after that. But even though it's only preseason, Calgary whooped us pretty bad. They're getting their legs back together and getting.
Yeah, but remember, it's a long season.
Yeah.
You can have a slow run and have a very good push at the end, or the opposite, where you have a good push in the start and you have faced both of those ways of life, where Edmonton at the start looks like the hot team and they fall on their face first round of the playoffs. But then again, like last year, where you guys were decent, you weren't the best, but you guys were the decent team because Dallas was the best.
Oh, and we took them out.
Yeah,
but and the crappy
finals.
But the crappy thing is, we're without Evander Kane right now. He had to have surgery, so he probably won't be around until probably January, February.
Still, that's a good pull.
Oh yeah,
keep yourself afloat.
It'll be good. Hopefully Edmonton learned some stuff from last year, especially in our goaltending department. And hey, I know the Penguins just re-signed Sid the Kid, so
yeah, and they have money on the table too.
Yeah, they've been kind of rebuilding lately themselves. It seems they're which I understand that, the whole rebuilding, because being an Oilers fan, that's kind of how it's always been. So
the thing is like, you never want to have, and the Penguins are almost going to face that, a Detroit Red Wing situation where you were good for so long with the players that you got, but the word time does not give two shits what you are and how old you are. You're going to get older and older and older to a point where you're going to be like Detroit, where they didn't have time to rebuild the players that were coming up to replace these good players. And by the time all these players retired, Detroit really hasn't recovered since 2011, 2012.
I'd say about there. Yeah.
And the Penguins almost faced that. But now they're starting to, because they fell off a little bit, they're still a consistent team.
Yeah.
It's just, they can't do exactly what happened of what Detroit had.
No. And you look at, there's so many players, like look at Phil Kessel. He's such an iconic player and he's not on the team this year. You look at in the last couple of years, I think Detroit got they just got a big player last year. I'm trying to remember who it was, from Chicago. was it Patrick Kane?
Yes.
Yeah, they got Patty Kane.
Yep.
So, they're still trying to mesh with him and his playing style. And I again, last year was such a whirlwind season for an Edmonton fan like myself, and I'm hoping for a better outcome this year. But then again, the roster
everyone has the hopes of this is our year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Speaking about this, how do you think about this expansion program? They're thinking about trying to get into Houston, Atlanta, and Oklahoma City. Is it, as a Canadian, do you think that's a little bit frustrating that the NHL isn't looking up north for a team? I mean, obviously you had Winnipeg, but still you have like Quebec and you have other, franchises that could hold one. Do you think that's a little bit frustrating as a Canadian that, the not getting any love on that? Or do you think maybe there's still something for the States?
Yes and no. I feel like Atlantic Canada could use a team like Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, PEI, New Brunswick. I feel like that area of Canada could use a team based in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I do like them going to Oklahoma City because that's where Edmonton had one of their affiliate teams. Before there was the team before they went to Bakersfield. I forget the name of it, but Edmonton did have our the AHL team down there. I like them going more into Texas. I think that's a good idea.
I just don't understand why Atlanta failed twice.
Yeah, Atlanta failed twice. I could see a team for like Indianapolis, for like Indiana. I could see because that's where
they have
Oilers,
the fuel.
Well, if people remember correctly, that's where Wayne Gretzky, in a way, did start his career, was Indianapolis. Because the Indianapolis, a hockey team, whatever, I forget what league it was, got bought out by people in Edmonton, and that team moved up to Edmonton and joined the NHL. So that's how Gretzky became an Oiler. But originally, he was started in Indianapolis.
Because I know they have is it AHL or ECHL? I think it's the AHL now. The Fuel, which if I was ownership, I would try to push Indianapolis hockey team and call it the Fuel again, because that's such an awesome name for the area and everything like that. And
imagine the Calgary Flames versus the Indy Fuel.
There's a lot of combustion.
Yeah,
a lot of fire, a lot of spark. But the idea of like the arena being, sponsored by an automotive company, having racing theme arena, obviously that would be a big deal for maybe Toughest Monster Truck Tour or another small arena tour, to run a arena show. I don't know if the field house would be able to host a hockey program. So if I was an owner, I would just try to cough up money for an arena and maybe put it right next to Lucas Oil Stadium, and then maybe, call it Ram Arena or some type of like maybe, or, a Penske Arena or something like that nature for Indianapolis. But I would love to have that. I would do that. But Atlanta, I don't know why. And then like the old owner of the Phoenix Coyotes or Arizona Coyotes has like a 5-year deal to try to cough up money to get another franchise for Phoenix. That's another failed area. I don't know why they keep on trying to test the waters of these failed areas, though.
I don't know. Like, I bet a lot of OG Winnipeg Jets fans feel very vindicated that, the team that, replaced them through Phoenix is now got moved to a different place now too. I bet they're the original Jets fans.
Does Winnipeg have the history too? Did Phoenix ever gave them their history back?
I don't know. I know that the Jets have had the retro jerseys on at one point, so they could have struck a deal with the ownership.
Because I know in basketball world, if Seattle gets the Supersonics back, the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to give them their history back.
Dude, I'd love to see that back. Dude, you know what? Okay, I'm not much of a baseball or a football guy, but one team I'd love to see back just because of the logo, Vancouver Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah. But Memphis has that, though.
I know, but still, I still think like that was such an iconic design.
Unless they do like the Bobcats or the Pelicans did, is when the Bobcats moved to New Orleans, then yeah, we're just chatting, Dad. It's Monster Trucks, but we just chat along. It's all good. But they gave the history when the Bobcats became the Hornets did all that stuff. But you know, I can't wait. Hockey season starts here soon, so that's gonna be fun. Remember, Dad, it's we're just hanging out, and sometimes we run out of information about monster trucks, so we'll just talk about anything. And I mean, once again, even with a guest that we have, Mark Hall or Dan Patrick, Jim Kramer, those are monster truck legends, but sometimes we go in depth with them about like amps and guitars and airplanes and, you know, being a roadie for his son's band, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, we just talk about that. It's not that big of a deal.
So here's something I wanted to bring up. You know, you're a fellow drag racing fan. How about Austin Prock, dude?
He's gonna dominate.
Dude, he's winning the championship.
Yeah.
Like he right now, 3 wins in a row. Like nobody's been able to really, like Bob Tasca has been the only other one to really kind of be right up there. Dude, like it just surprises me. Like the kid just has a stupid talent. Like you look at, you know, last couple of years, he was in Top Fuel Dragster and, you know, did okay, got a couple wins, moves to Funny Car with his dad and his brother tuning his car, replacing Robert Height, and the kid's been just unstoppable. It's
think
ridiculous.
He's going to replace John Force?
I think so. I see, as a diehard Force fan, it breaks my heart, but I think John's not going to be driving next year, and that really bums me out because I got to meet the man at Bristol in 2005. Never got to see him race because it rained out the only day we were there.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my goals has always been to go to an NHRA race and see the man drive in person, because I've grown up watching his whole championship career from, you know, basically 91 on.
I gave you that T-shirt.
Yes, you did, and I thank you for that.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, what's going on, Ryan? But you know, they found a gold mine with Brock. That guy is going to be a force to be working with.
Oh, 100%.
The whole family is.
And like
Brittany's getting married.
Yeah, she is. But she hasn't been doing that great this season. You know, their performance has fallen off big time. You know, the Top Fuel class, you look at.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's only 2 Funny Cars and 1 Top Fuel this year.
Yeah.
Are they planning on going to do?
I don't know, because they did lose sponsorship with Flavor Pack, I believe, with like because the guy Frank Teagues passed away, and he owned like Flavor Pack, Rocky Mountain Twist / Montana brand, and that was the main sponsor of Austin's Top Fuel Dragster. But man, it's
AAA.
AAA is. I think they're on Proc's car, but not for a lot of the races. I think Proc's car. No, it's AAA. Is it AAA? I need to look.
That was that Montana thing or something like that.
Oh, and they announced the Pro Superstar Shootout for next year as well. Proc has Cornwell Quality Tools, but AAA is still a sponsor. But Cornwell is the main, you know, deal throughout the season. So and even like you look at with Jack Beckman, you know, stepping into John Force's car, and any points that Beckman earns goes to Force's total, you know. So and you never know those guys, you know, they're starting to get that car figured out. They were in the finals at Maple Grove with Austin, so they're getting that car accustomed to Jack Beckman. And we all know Jack Beckman, you don't want to, like, that guy can drive a funny car, you know, and I'm stoked for how this season is. You look at even Top Fuel, and it's such a varied story over there. You know, you have so many people that can sneak up and take a win. Tony Stewart going to the finals recently, you know, almost getting his first win in the Top Fuel Dragster. Antron Brown getting 2 in a row. It was Brainerd and Charlotte, and now he's in the points lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody could sneak up. You look at Doug Kalita last year. Anybody can sneak up for that Top Fuel title. But funny car, we all know it's going to be Austin Prock.
It's crazy to think about that. You know, you also had, Stop on That Loud Pedal. He won the U.S. Nationals.
Dude,
You know?
Clay Millican, dude. Okay, I watched because I had a free NHRA TV pass for that weekend, so I redeemed it for the U.S. Nationals, and I watched every single day because I was off work at that point, and that Monday watching it live, him winning, I lost my crap. I freaked out.
And having Rick Ware, his owner, for the first time being there, that's crazy too.
And taking down Steve Torrance in the finals, and that's no easy task. That those Capco boys, like, there's a reason Steve's a multi-time champion, but you couldn't deny Clay that week, that day, dude. Like, coming in, I think he was 13th qualifier. I think so. And just with a new sponsor with Arby's, and just like, it always makes me happy when Clay wins because the dude deserves it. Like, multi-time champion in IHRA. He was the Tony Schumacher of IHRA.
And Doug Herbert. Him and Doug Herbert.
Oh, Maple Grove, Doug. Oh yeah, that's where Dougzilla happened. One of my favorite NHRA moments of all time. But, you know, just seeing the emotion on Clay anytime he wins, it's such a feel good, like, thing, you know, like, I don't know, like, who would be the NASCAR equivalent to Clay Millican? Greg Biffle?
No.
Gotta
be someone still running today. I would say
Truex.
Well, Truex is retiring.
Yeah.
And Clay hasn't had like a dominating year as Truex did in 2017. Yeah. Where, you know, Truex's year 2017 is like what Brock is right now, you know, just pure domination. I would say Clay's season in NASCAR would probably remind me of McDowell.
Yeah. I like
or Stenhouse. Someone like that's they're in the mid-range, but they have those peaks.
Yeah.
Where they just pop out of nowhere and they're like, holy cow, you know, and they just come back, you know.
I'd say more like a McDowell, because, you know, McDowell, he can sneak up and win. He's shown it plenty of times before, you know, next year going over to Spire. And, you know, he's going to be bad fast next year, I think, because I think he has Rodney Childers as his crew chief. And we all know Childers can get one of those cars set up pretty damn well when he was with Harvick. So even just like I watched Bristol this last weekend, and Bristol is one of those races I always try to watch. And even just the NASCAR playoffs are just already crazy this year. You know, Truex is already out of the playoffs. It bummed me out to see Brad Keselowski out of the playoffs because I like Brad Keselowski. I'm a huge fan of Roush Fenway Keselowski racing.
I was more impressed, even though Larson dominated, I was more impressed on Suarez 30th, 33rd, but he had enough points to keep ahead of Gibbs. That Gibbs was in 10th, and he gets out of the playoff points because Suarez had enough points to keep Gibbs from going into the next round.
Yeah. And like, I'm not a huge NASCAR fan, you know, like, it's got to be like a race like Bristol or Richmond or like one of the like the short tracks.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like NASCAR in the 90s was like in the early 2000s was the shit. You know, like
era.
Oh, dude! Like I have a PlayStation 2 emulator on my computer, and I've been playing NASCAR Chase for the Cup 05.
You need to give me a link to that emulator.
Oh, I will, dude. Playing NASCAR 05 is like one of the my favorite games of all time, and just even the sounds of the cars, and that's even with NHRA. Like the 90s for broadcasting was like the best era in the world for like.
I always
TV.
thought the soundtracks were awesome.
Yes, dude. Like if I could get my hands on some of those soundtracks for the upcoming 10th anniversary of the podcast, I'm doing it because like just I don't know. Just like the Diamond P broadcasts are the greatest in the world, in my opinion. You know, and they did everything. They did from mud bogs, NASCAR,
swamp buggy racing, sprint cars.
Yeah, they did it all. And you know, there was always one constant in a lot of those, that awesome, amazing voice of Steve Evans, man.
Well, man, let's see here. What social media people can follow you at?
Follow me at I think it's Bradshaw Design 01 on Instagram. Starting to get back into graphic design. I've shown Cheech a couple things that I've kind of toyed around and fallen in love back with it. So and like I said, creating the Crush This new logo and getting all that. So you'll see some stuff on that as well. And Cheech, where can people follow the Flying Panda at?
I need to actually make that as a new Instagram name, the Flying Panda 08.
See, what? No. You need to have a secondary helmet that looks like a panda head.
Yeah, I have heard people say I need to do that. I also came up with the idea of a giveaway in November, and Steve Thompson said that he will donate a piece of fiberglass for people if anyone's interested. So I may do another giveaway in November, kind of an Instagram deal where we'll have something and tag 3 people and then go from there. You know what I mean? Try to get more followers and stuff like that, and like, share, subscribe our product. But MT_Dan Agosh 28 on Instagram. Follow me there. Dan Cheech Agosh on Facebook. I'm on all social media platforms as Dan Agosh 10 and Snapchat, stuff like that. So go take a look at that stuff. It's awesome doing that. And someone's telling me I comment for a free McDonald's cheeseburger. So go there. I'm on TikTok too. So come on and follow through and have some fun. But like I said, thank you to our sponsors, J Concepts, Colby Marshall and MTRC, Nick Davis and Back Channel Productions. Thank you for all of them that has helped us out. Bradshaw Designs, if it ever comes back. It will be. He's gonna get that ball rolling, guys, and and stuff like that. So once again, guys, next week we're gonna have Steve Thompson Jr. on our podcast. And once again, don't forget to donate blood, and also talk to your friends and family, and maybe play some drums
tomorrow.
Rock out with your drum out. You should get is it electric drum?
Yeah, I don't have it set up right now because even though it's electric kit, I live in an apartment, and last time I played drums, I got yelled at.
By the boss?
No, somebody complained, thought I was doing construction. So, but I'm playing drums this weekend at church. So,
well, if you do, you should get the fart app.
The fart app?
Yeah, make sure toms and your snare instead of like that.
I can do all that, dude. I can make my drum kit sound like Jay Weinberg's kit from Slipknot. Like I have that ability, which is insane.
Ooh.
So,
all right,
suck at drill bass.
That's all right. Well, we'll see you cats next week. Brad, go ahead and close up shop.
All right, guys. Until next week, for almost 10 years, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, everybody. Peace.